Alright.
It's an established fact.
Alright. What is today's date?
Shit.
One of these days, I'm gonna know the date when I start a video. One day. Someday.
But that day is not today.
Far down the line.
It is the 22nd. That's
the 22nd?
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah.
Hello Earthlings, it's August 22nd, 2013. It's not 2013.
Hank did that in one of his videos, and I was just like, oh, Hank. Oh my god.
Okay, let's try this again.
Okay.
Hello Earthlings, you are watching Adam the Alien, and today is August 22nd, 2014.
Not
and
2013.
And if you can't reference the blooper reel.
Sorry. Is that one of those unwritten rules things?
Oh, then it becomes a blooper.
Fine. Okay.
Okay.
Third time's a charm.
I think this is the fourth time.
Oh, whatever. Okay.
Alright. Hello Earthlings, it's August 22nd, 2014, and you are watching Adam the Alien. Alright, so I'm here with my friend Katie from the Portland Nerd Fighters, and if our eyes look at all puffy, is because we just went and saw The Fault in Our Stars. What she said.
Feelings. Yep.
So we went to Portland's living room theaters to see it. We are probably the last Nerd Fighters to actually go see it because we are terrible and just, you know,
well,
not doing our duties
we're not on
as
top of it.
cult members.
We have a life. we both have lives. I have school.
Right, but we finally had to see it because
Yeah.
I can't go see Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't justify that until I see this, so, you know. Seriously, though, it was terrible going to VidCon and being like, yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
maybe I should have.
yeah.
Anyway, so what we're going to do now is actually talk about the movie, perhaps review it. Personally, I loved it. I know there were changes from the book. She was writing them down while we were watching the movie.
I have a list.
Writing them down. How were you watching the movie while you were writing them down?
It's a magical thing called multitasking.
Yes, I don't have one of those. I have a penis instead. So.
We are in public.
Yes. Yep.
And you don't give a shit.
Nope. All right. So here's my thoughts. So here's my quick thoughts on the movie. I was very overjoyed to see various bits from the book that I could remember. There were apparently bits that were missing that I did kind of hazily not see those, but it's been a few years since I've read the book, and honestly, I thought it encapsulated the mood very well. It was very interesting seeing Sam Merlot from True Blood and the Green Goblin, aka Detective What's-His-Face from Boondock Saints, aka I just love Willem Dafoe. I think this was actually his least crazy role. And actually, he did an amazing job, because one of the things I will say, Willem Dafoe played Van Houten. Van Houten! I like saying that.
Understandably.
And I actually know a guy who, like, talks and acts just like that character.
Oh, so he's a massive asshat.
He's a good guy under it.
Okay.
It's just, but he likes to use these flowery words, and he's very pessimistic about everything. He's a good guy, but he's, like, not always the easiest to get along with. And so I was picturing that in my head the whole time I was reading the book, and Willem Dafoe captured that perfectly. Like, at first I was like, I like Willem Dafoe, but is he gonna do this the way I imagined it? I know he's gonna do a good job, but is he gonna do it the way I imagined it? Yes. Yes, he did. That is pretty much exactly the way that I imagined it.
Same?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, he is such a dick.
Augustus, on the other hand, was better than I imagined, and really pretty.
Yeah, Ansel Elgort. Ansel Elgort. That is a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
Ansel Elgort. Yeah.
So basically,
he's a very pretty person.
He's a very pretty person, and basically, this movie had me crying pretty much start to finish. I am very. It's not hard to make me cry in movies. I am a crier. I use movies as my catharsis, but this was just ridiculously good at doing it, even though I had already read the book and knew everything that was going to happen. even though I already knew the background and the foreground and the ground, it still made me cry right from the start, right from the flashback to the ICU and when the parents thought that she was going to die. That's not a spoiler, it's background, so screw you. I was gone from then, and this movie, the story in itself is a tearjerker, and I will be honest, so a lot of inspiration from this came via nerdfighter Esther Earl, who I did not really know, but I communicated with. So I wouldn't say I knew her well, but I did know her, at least as a username that I saw frequently and chatted with often in blog, TV, live streams and such, and there were times when I was kind of seeing her, and that did not help my inability to keep from crying. No, it did not. So, with my initial hastily slapped together emotional reply out of the way, what criticisms do you have?
Criticism. Is it okay if I give my background for TFIOS?
Okay, go right ahead.
Yeah. So I've only been a nerdfighter for a couple of years now, and when I first read TFIOS, it was right in the peak beginning of when I became a nerdfighter. And it was the second John Green book that I read, first being Looking for Alaska. And I started reading it right before I went to college, and then college happened, and I had to stop reading it because college was a thing.
That happens.
Yeah, and so then when I picked up reading it, I didn't really remember a lot of what happened, and so I was just like, okay, what the hell, I'll just finish the book. And so I finished the book, and I didn't cry at all, and I was like, well, maybe it's just because I just didn't really feel a connection with the book, or no. And so I didn't really cry, and I thought that maybe it was because I had stopped partway through. And then recently I started rereading it, and at VidCon, on one of the nights when I was just kind of getting ready for bed, I started reading it again. I got to the point, I didn't start reading it on that night, I started reading it beforehand, but one night when I was reading it at VidCon, I got to the point where Augustus was just like, I got a PET scan, and I lit up like a Christmas tree, and then I was like, oh god, here come the feels, okay, I need to stop for right now, because I can't be crying, because this is VidCon, and I need all the energy that I can get. And so I stopped reading it, and I still haven't finished it yet. And I originally was going to go see it on the night before our stars, but then college happened again.
As it does.
Yeah.
So you haven't actually finished reading the book.
I haven't actually
and yet you're the one sitting here with a list of things that they are lacking from the book.
Things, and I'm a very detail-oriented person. You can shut your face.
Meanwhile, I read the book, and I'm just like, no, I'm good with it.
No, I read the book. I read the book, just not from start to finish at within a certain span of time.
Okay.
So,
So what is this list? Show us the list.
The first thing I noticed was when Hazel was in support group, and in the book, she and Isaac communicate with these little sighs. Like, this sigh, means oh my god, I need this to end, and I don't know, just little sighs mean certain different things. And so that was left out.
They did kind of show it. I mean,
a little bit.
They didn't explicitly spell it out for you, but they showed the kind of looks between them.
Yeah. I don't know. I was kind of waiting for Augustus to show up. I don't know. I wasn't really as focused because I was just like, oh my god, this is happening. Oh my god, this is happening.
So you just criticized a movie for something that actually did happen.
Hush your face.
What's the next thing? The next
thing, when I first remembered it, when I first started noticing things, and I was like, oh, I should probably write this down, I'll just make a list, don't give me that look.
Continue.
Was when Hazel reads poetry to Gus when they're in the airport, I think, and also when they're on the plane. And Gus when he says, I just love to hear you read poetry, please just read poetry to me. I forget exactly what he said, but yeah, that general kind of a thing. So she didn't read poetry at all. And then when they were leaving for Amsterdam, Hazel and her mom drive to Gus's house to pick him up. when she gets there, she goes up to the door and she can hear Gus yelling, like having like an argument with his parents. And it's in the book. You can tell that it's obviously something that he's not doing so hot with his whole cancer thing. But that wasn't in the movie. Gus just kind of arrived at their house with a limo, and I was just like, wait, what? No, that's not how it...
Copyrighted music, stay out of my video. No. Continue.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure if this was in the book, but I remember... I wrote this down because I vaguely remembered it. When Hazel is deciding which dress to wear to dinner with I almost called him Ansel. No, when she's trying to decide which dress to wear to dinner with Augustus or Gus or whatever, I don't know. When she's trying to decide which dress to wear, I thought that it was her death dress, but I can't quite remember because she did mention her death dress that she got it for her 15th birthday.
Yeah.
And
I just got splashed in the butt.
me too. Happy fun times. Yeah, but I'm not quite sure where her dress. Also at dinner, they weren't sitting outside, and they didn't have the stuff falling from the trees. It's Amsterdam snow, I think they called it in the book. Oh, look at your puppy. Sorry,
Back on task. Back on task.
My pills are wearing off. ADHD is a fun thing. But they weren't sitting outside at dinner, and so they didn't have the stuff falling from the trees, which was probably just like a logistics thing, because they were in Amsterdam at a different time than it was actually happening.
And the restaurant was super pretty.
Yeah, I have no complaints about the restaurant. The restaurant was great. And that's something that I wrote down before before it happened. I remember something about when they're going into the Anne Frank house, and when they're first going in, and there are people like I think there were people getting upset when they were going into the book, but I'm not quite sure. You can just edit that out if that is untrue.
I don't know. This is very long. I think I'll edit much of it.
Yes.
And then upload the entire thing to my unedited channel so you guys can see what a cluster frack this is. I won't swear around the young children. At least these young children. Other young children, fuck them.
Yeah. But then also when I also wrote it down before the kissing happened and before people started clapping, but they actually clapped, and that was a thing that was important. One of the things that bothered me most: my thoughts are stars I can't fathom into constellations. That is one of my favorite quotes, if not my least favorite quote, from this entire book, and it wasn't in the freaking movie. It might have been in the extended version, but it wasn't in this one.
Your least favorite quote?
My most favorite.
Okay.
That is my most favorite quote from this entire book. It wasn't in the movie, and that upsets me.
So
I have a lot of
basically,
feelings.
like any movie that that is based on a book, there were things that were not in the book, or things that were not in... Let me start that one over. So basically, like any book to movie adaptation, there were things that were not in the movie, that were in the book, and that will make some people upset. I'm not too terribly concerned. I think it held true to the spirit. The cinematography was gorgeous.
It was so pretty.
Oh, it was gorgeous, and I loved how they did the texting. That was very nice.
That was really
cute. They did,
liked
very little cute graphical thing.
Yeah.
The acting was...
Oh my god, it was
holy
superb.
shitballs good.
It was so good.
Very.
I was just like, Shailene Woodley, Jesus Christ.
Not just her, everyone across the board. Big parts, little parts, across the board. Every single person.
Freaking waiter in the restaurant I was just like, you are such a pleasant person. Can I just give you a hug? just let me love you.
So basically, all in all, good movie?
Yeah, good movie. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
Yes.
Because we are professional reviewers. No, we're not. Actually, I could be. But I'm not going to call a claim to that.
Yeah.
didn't even see me!
I see you.
Guys, he's coming!
I saw you.
Whoa! Light! So basically, if you haven't seen The Fault in Our Stars and it's still playing in your area, you should go see it. If not, get it when it comes out on DVD / Blu-ray /
Which is
whatever.
August 26th.
August 26th.
Because I know things.
Seriously? That
Yes.
soon?
Yes.
Wow, well, the living room theater keeps it going for a while.
Yeah, I was impressed and excited because I hadn't seen it yet, and I was like, if I don't see this in theaters, they're probably going to revoke my Nerd Fighter card. And also I just felt like a personal, I needed to see it in theaters.
In any case, I will say this, just as a parting thought. It was really freaking weird leaving that movie in tears and walking out to people who were walking in to watch, you know, the new Sin City movie. And they were all like, yeah, I'm gonna see some blood and gore. Why are these people crying? I don't understand. I'm gonna see some blood and gore and misogyny. Yeah. I'm still probably gonna see it though.
Misogyny.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no drive.
This exit is taking way too long.
I'm sorry. I sometimes
We have recorded for 16 minutes. That is longer than I intended
That
to record
happens a
this.
lot.
This was going to be a one-take 5-minute video.
Good luck with that.
Until
I
next
talk
time, I'm Adam the Alien.
I'm Katie.
There'll be a link to her channel someday when she actually does something
Eventually,
with it. Someday. Someday.
One day.
Until
That
then,
day is not today.
again, I'm Adam the Alien, and I hope everyone goes and watches The Fault in Our Stars, but read the book first, because it's good. Fare thee well.
You have to behave. Am I supposed to do the thing too? I did it. You happy?